Welcome to the Sanibel Captiva Guide podcast. I'd like to welcome Emilie Alfino, who's the Executive Director of the Sanibel Historical Museum and Village.
Yes.
Let's get it right.
You have to get it right.
Absolutely. So welcome. Thanks for taking the time to come and join us.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up on the island? How did you end up at the Historical Museum?
Well, it's a familiar story. I came down on vacation in 1983 and then came every year after that. And I knew I wanted to live here. I lived in Syracuse, New York, which is the grayest, snowiest place.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
And every time I looked at a weather map on the news, the little spot at the bottom of Florida was always had a sun on it. And I thought, that's where I want to be.
I want to be.
So as soon as I got a chance in 2002, I moved down.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And what brought you to, you were just vacation? Did you know somebody that lived here? Or how did you find Sanibel?
There was an article in our local paper.
Really?
Kind of just a feature. So
okay. Talking about
chance.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So talking about the Sanibel Historical Museum and Village, give us a little rundown for those that might not know. What is it? Where is it? What does it do?
Well, it's not technically a village because what we've done is move 9 historical authentic buildings to the village from various parts of the island.
And created a village, I guess.
With a nice grassy square in the circle of it.
What sort of buildings are there?
Well, we have quite a variety, kind of showcasing every different part of pioneer life. We have a farmer's house, we have a fishing cottage, we have a tea room, a grocery store, general store, and post office. So, and actually the first snowbird's house, we like to call it.
Right.
A little beach cottage that the first people who owned it spent just half the year here.
Right.
Really?
And how many buildings in total are there?
Just a quick message before we get back to the show. We put a ton of effort into bringing you quality content, so if you would like to help us share our love of the islands, here are several easy ways. Firstly, you can support us on Patreon. You could purchase an island souvenir from our Etsy store. You can metaphorically buy us a coffee, which is an easy way to donate a couple of bucks.
Don't you prefer tea?
Well, I do, kind of. Also, like and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with all things Sanibel and Captiva. And finally, show some love to our sponsors. Let them know we sent you. All the links are in the description below. Now, back to the episode.
And how many buildings in total are there?
Well, there are 12, but we have a reproduction of the packing house.
Right.
Which was the precursor to the general store.
Right.
So that's Bailey's general store that was originally called the Packing House, which is originally on the east end of the island.
Yes.
Right over the water on a pier.
Yes, the first Bailey store was right over the water, and the hurricane of 1926 blew it away.
Right.
And they built it back
on land,
farther back
right.
on land.
Still in the same location, but on land, not on stilts. Yeah. So that's the copy of the building of that building.
No,
that's the store. That's the store
is actually
but it's authentic. It is the actual store.
Right.
Okay.
So there's actually a packing house is where they used to bring all the fruits and vegetables that the farmers would grow. They would bring them to this packing house, and these people would actually pack them into crates, and then from there, that's what you're talking about. The packing house is a reproduction. Yeah,
the packing house back in the day was a lot different, served a lot different purpose than the Bailey's general store of today.
Right. So
it was just farming supplies and.
No, I think the packing house is where they actually pack the fruits and vegetables.
Right, but it also worked as a pickup point as well. I think you find did they not deliver to there as well?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
It used to. Our vegetables and especially our tomatoes used to be really prized, and they were shipped all over. Mm-hmm. And it was the 1926 hurricane and the coming of the railroad, both of those incidents, that really killed farming for the most part on Sanibel. People could have their little family farms, gardens, I should call them, but we could no longer farm commercially.
Right, gotcha. Because I think the hurricane actually brought salt water. The whole island was covered in water, so the salt seeped into the soil, and then the soil became
contaminated.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay, so and then tell us a bit more about the other different ones. I understand is there a Sears house, Sears Roebuck house?
We have 2 Sears houses. One is 1924 Shorehaven. that could not be authentically restored on the interior.
Okay.
It had been too modified over the years.
Okay.
But that is now our welcome center. Our offices are on the second floor. It's where people enter the village to tour.
Right.
You know, they pay their fee and all that there. And we have a movie. So that's what that is. Then 2 brothers built them. The other brother built what we call Morning Glories, which is a little blue cottage at the end, right on the water. And that's just charming. Everybody that comes here wants to stay there. We could have a
you could have an Airbnb.
We could. It's just charming. There's a sunroom, a dining room that goes into a living room with a fireplace, and a cute little kitchen, and then a huge lanai.
Right. So speaking of that, so Sears and Roebuck's was a catalog, I guess, that people would get, and you would just pick out what you wanted.
You could buy your own house.
You could buy a house, and it would come in parts, correct?
30,000 pieces that came in.
30,000 pieces.
From nails to paint to everything.
Right.
And then you had to get your own contractor to build
to
it.
actually put it together.
But the Mayer brothers who owned it, they were builders in Erie, Pennsylvania, so we assume brought their crew over to build it.
Right.
Actually build it.
Right. And this is pre-causeway, so they're bringing stuff by boat and bringing it over, and these 30,000 pieces.
Probably a perfect solution back then, because, I mean, even in New Shepard and Upper Cap today when they're building, it's not like you can run down to the store if you forget something.
Right. So this comes all in one package. Yeah. I guess a big package.
The Sears homes were very popular throughout the country. I don't recall the years they were in operation, but there are towns in the Midwest that are just entirely Sears homes.
Right.
Really?
Yes, and then everything in the homes, Sears also provided.
That's true.
It was a good deal for Sears. They bought all their furniture, their tablecloth, their towel, everything came from Sears.
Soup to nuts, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. And amazing that they're still in good condition, too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So, what are there plans for the future of the village? Or what have you got coming up? What are the plans for the future?
Well, we're full.
You're full. Okay.
Right. I think you cannot bring any more.
No, we recently built a pavilion to have small events, to house a timeline and some photographs, and we have some volunteer things there. And we were told in no uncertain terms when we got that permit, this is it.
That's it.
No more.
Okay, yeah. And going on to the volunteers, I know one personally, sitting right here, Laurie. So
yes.
You have an extensive volunteer program. How many staff actually work at the museum, and how many are volunteers?
We just have 5 part-time staff. We have about 125 volunteers, but I would guess only about 80 of them work regularly.
Right.
Gotcha.
Then we have others who might help, do mailings or help decorate.
Right. Just come in certain times.
But as far as regular workers, I would guess about 80.
Right. That's a good amount.
It is a good amount.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. We couldn't operate without them. We would actually have to close.
Really? Yeah.
If we couldn't get volunteers.
So, Laurie, what do you do there?
Right now I work in the gift shop.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Register.
On the register.
Excellent.
You came and took my picture.
Yes, I did.
We really prize our gift shop employees because a lot of people don't want to do that, whether they're confused by the register or don't want to handle money or, they should, because that's the only air conditioned
I know.
building.
Yeah,
I'm in the air conditioned building, which was talk about the building that the gift shop is actually housed in.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The Rutland House. It's a cracker style house, and that refers to the construction that is a hip roof, a long hallway, center hallway with ventilation front to back.
Right. There's a door on either side, and
the side is also ventilated. Front to back. It's lifted off the ground a little bit, both for water and for critter purposes. Right. And it's beautiful, made of slash pine wood. And
yeah, it is beautiful.
So even to this day, like you can see, it's obviously pre-air conditioning, and the way that the whole place opens up, you still get a breeze. Every direction there's designed to have a breeze going through.
Right. And then the owner of that was Clarence Rutland, correct?
Known as Uncle Clarence.
Yeah, everybody called him Uncle Clarence. I don't think he was married, but I don't think he ever had any children, correct?
No,
and he did kind of all kinds of things, vegetable packing,
And his wife,
handyman.
His wife predeceased him by many, many years. So he was well known in the community. I think he had plenty of company.
Right.
Because of that, he farmed. He was a handyman. He did a little bit of everything.
Right.
Taxiing.
Yeah.
Mail.
Right. And there's pictures of people coming to visit him on his porch, and just really cool. Yeah. And his rocking chair is still there.
Yes. Yes.
So if people want to come and visit, where is it, and how much does it cost, and when's it open?
We're right next to Big Arts at 950 Dunlop Road. We share a parking lot, as a matter of fact. So if you're familiar with Big Arts,
same road that the library's on. And
yes,
the public works,
we're the last group of buildings there.
Yeah.
Have a pretty big sign at the road.
So basically you come up Periwinkle, you come to the Island Cow on your left, and then take a right there, and that takes you down Dunlop Road.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I always use the Island Cow as a
reference.
reference point.
Right. Yeah. Good place to visit afterwards and before.
Yeah. And our admission fee in October will be $15 per person. Children under 18 are free.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and then you can do the parks thing, I believe, isn't there? Some sort of membership that you can get?
You can do, yes.
For a $100 membership, you also get what's called NARM, the North American Museum, I don't know what.
Right. One of those other acronyms.
And you get reciprocal privileges to really thousands, if you count international museums all over. You get the Shell Museum, you get Edison Ford, Ringling.
Right.
We've talked about this before. It's definitely worth doing it.
Yeah. It is.
Because it's for a family, isn't it?
Yeah.
For a family membership.
And I think just in this area, there's like 10 or 12 NARM museums that you can visit. And so it is a wonderful
And we
deal.
recently reduced that to the $100 membership. It used to be $150.
Right.
So it's an even better value now.
Right. So very good.
So if you like those sorts of things and you're coming down here, definitely recommend getting that.
Yeah, for sure. And then what days are you open? What are the hours?
We're open Tuesday through Saturday. This time of year, 10 to 1.
Okay.
May, June, July, we're 10 to 1. And then the rest of the year, the middle of October through May, through April, we're 10 to 4.
Got it.
I know our hours can get a little confusing, but there's a reason for it. It's too hot in the buildings, and we can't get volunteers to work. Plus, most of them go away.
Right. A lot of the volunteers are snowbirds. So they come here for the season. They'll volunteer at the village and other places on the island, and they're all back north enjoying the cooler weather. Yeah. Even though it gets hot up north, too.
Yeah. Well, even our guests don't want to go in those buildings.
No.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, I know. I work in the gift shop where the only air conditioning, and it's one of the last buildings on the tour, and everybody that comes in there is like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah, really fun. So, and then you're closed for what months are you closed?
We're closed August through the middle of October.
Gotcha.
Staff is still working part of that time, but we're close to the public.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, like you say, it's kind of confusing, but just check and what is the website that people can...
It's sanibelmuseum.org.
Okay. sanibelmuseum.org. And then you also have social media that people can follow you.
We do. Don't want to say in our infancy, but we've just recently got it started with the social media, but it's growing, and we can be found there.
Okay. Right. Or just give a call, or
that's a safe thing to do.
Right. For sure. Do you have a favorite spot in the village? Is it the Sears house?
I would have said that, except I now will say Bailey's General Store, because you're probably not aware, but I helped Francis Bailey write his memoirs.
I did know that, and I was going to ask you all about that. So tell us about that.
I don't call it my book because it's Francis's voice.
So tell everybody who Francis Bailey is and what his connection is to Sanibel.
Right. Well, Francis Bailey, they've called him the father of Sanibel. Some people have. His father came here in 1894, and had 3 sons: Francis, Sam, who's quite well known
too. Yeah,
and John. Thank you.
Yep.
And when Frank Bailey, the father, couldn't take care of the store anymore, Francis gave up his dreams of doing other things.
Right. He had gone away to school, I think.
Right. You know it.
Yeah.
you know your history. And so he took over the store.
Right.
And he did everything for everybody. He was the pulse of Sanibel, really. I feel that way.
Yeah.
And
I think people that couldn't afford things, he would give them credit.
Yes, he would. Yes, he did. He did a lot of things for people.
He always opened up for the hurricanes as well, regardless of if they could take money or not. They would just be there providing food and shelter. And
for Hurricane Donna in 1960, he had everybody over his house because it was one of the highest points on the island. So I don't know how many, but everybody streamed into his house. He was, Mr. Reliable, Mr.
Right.
And he was on city council, and he was mayor. And
I mean, so many things.
Yeah,
I had the good fortune of meeting him and Sam. I did a story for a magazine, and we took a picture of him. And as kids, they used to play football, but they would use coconuts, paint them brown, and put a white ring around either end. And, so there's a front cover of a magazine that's going around in the times of the island.
Yeah, and you can still tour his house. Is still in existence.
Yes, that belongs to SCCF now.
Right.
I hope someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can tour it on a regular.
That's correct. You can see the outside of it.
You see the outside. They have beautiful grounds.
Yeah,
and I think they might occasionally, by appointment or something like that.
I think you're right.
Do a
Somebody
tour.
living there still?
No, nobody lives there.
No, I think they have a couple of people work out of their offices.
Right.
But it's still not air conditioned as far as I know.
That's right. And that's at the intersection of Donax and Periwinkle.
And the one thing I did want to say, it's not just a small collection of buildings. It's also every building is equipped and, not equipped, has displays inside it. So if you go in the Bailey's General Store or the packing house, you'll see what it would have looked like back in the day. And so,
well, I want to stress that our museum, nothing is behind glass. When you walk into the general store, you get the feeling you are immersed in the 1927 general store, and that's the way it is with all of our buildings.
Yeah.
And even though we're doing some upgrading of exhibits now, we've got a program underway to do that.
Yeah.
We are determined to keep it the experience that it is now.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes us special.
Even which I love about the schoolhouse, the desks are there. You can actually, the kids can sit in the desks. And I actually had somebody come in the gift shop, and he was an older gentleman, probably in his 80s, and he talked about how he sat in desks similar to that growing up, and he probably sat in it at the museum just to relive the memories.
We have people on the island that went to that one-room school. There's still people around who remember.
Right.
And it's hard to imagine that a one-room school in 1963, it was until 1960. And then think about a school in Manhattan and what that must have been like, with lots of people and classes and compared to this little one-room school with, 20 students or something.
Yeah.
And that building saw many iterations when we first moved here.
It was the Playhouse.
It was the Pirate Playhouse, and then changed to the Old Schoolhouse Theatre, which was on Periwinkle. And that changed a lot, had a lot of little additions onto it.
But when you moved to the village, do you remember what year it was moved to the village?
Oh, I actually have it.
You have it,
probably
90s.
No.
Mid-90s?
It couldn't have been, because I was in a play at the Old Schoolhouse Theatre, and we moved here in 99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so it must have been early 2000s.
I'm going to pull it up, but I'm pretty sure it's 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is 2004.
I read that fact this morning.
After it was a school, it became the theater, and they painted it bright pink and everything. So once you guys moved it to the village, you've restored it back to the schoolhouse.
It was pink when it came over.
Was it? Yeah.
And it was the Hammerheads that did all that restoration.
Oh, right. Talk about the Hammerheads.
Hammerheads. They're a group of island retired specialists, carpenters, electricians, everything you can imagine. And they actually built it back to what it was like in 1930 about.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
incredible.
How do you actually move such a thing? That seems like such an undertaking.
There is a company that moved almost every building that we moved from. That was their Flint and Doyle.
Gotcha.
And when they moved Shorehaven, which was the most recent one that was moved over in 2012, I was there and I was watching it with bated breath.
I'm sure.
They would have someone taking down the power lines in front and then putting them back when it got by, cutting the foliage. It was the slowest moving, riveting thing I've ever seen.
I can imagine.
We actually saw that same company lifting a house on Usepa. It got flooded, had trouble with flooding, and it was a 2-story home, and they lifted up an entire story jacked it up underneath with 100 jacks and then lifted it up.
Amazing.
The schoolhouse was moved first in 1903. So imagine how much more difficult it was.
Oh, right.
In
Because it
1903.
used to be closer to the entrance of the causeway,
And
I think.
to confirm, it was 2004 that it finally moved to the village.
Right.
In 1903, that was with mules and logs.
But it was also
Really?
a much smaller building, wasn't it? Well, I guess it's the same size as it is now. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1903, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
No
seriously.
cranes or...
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, really
So,
incredible.
Max, do you have any trivia for us?
I do have some island history
I think,
trivia.
But one more thing, because I know besides the village, you guys put on events too. So let's talk quickly about that, and then
Okay,
we'll get on
good.
to the
Good.
Okay.
Well, we have a free day before Luminary, kind of a pre-Luminary celebration.
And tell everybody
with
what
music.
Luminary is.
Luminary is the first Friday of every December, and the city lights up Periwinkle Way, and people can walk up and down, and some places have treats. And
Right.
There's
Things are-
basically paper bags with candles put every 10 feet or so
Right.
or along the whole length of Periwinkle.
The
around
shops are all
and
open in the evening.
Lots of volunteers get together.
Right, all the
Rotary
Christmas
Club
lights,
all
and
that.
it's a great time.
We're giving them a way to kick that off by
Okay.
coming to see us first with music. We don't have lights because it's 1927 at our place. So we have a Twilight Talk in January. That's going to be about education on the island. And we have a Sandcap Art League show in February. We did that for the first time this year.
And that's when they come in, the Sandcap Art League or painters
plein
and
air
artists on the
Painters
island.
come and paint our village.
Gotcha.
And that's what was in the show, all
Right.
paintings of our village,
That's
which
cool.
is really nice. We have our gala on February 21. We're going to premiere our next movie. We did The Lighthouse last year, if you remember.
Yeah.
And this is going to be about the history of hurricanes that affected Sanibel.
That should be interesting.
We don't have a catchy title yet. if you can think of one,
Okay, anybody
that'd
out
be great.
there? I'm looking for a title.
We have another Twilight Talk in March, and that's going to be on the making of a documentary to kind of explain how we did these lighthouse documentaries. And
Oh, cool.
and then we have exhibits: Valentine's Day, Black History Day, Women's History Month. We have a quilt show.
Right. So you actually change things in and out of the village depending on the month. So you can
Yes.
see the Black History, you can see the quilt. So
We try to keep them coming.
Exactly. You just not a one time come. You come back throughout the year and see all the different things.
Yeah, we're planning to do a lot more as time goes on.
Right. Exactly. And the Twilight Talks last year were at the community house. Will
Community
they be
house,
there?
yes.
Okay. Right. So once again, check the website sanibelmuseum.org, and all that will be on
That's
there.
right.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Awesome.
All right.
Well,
All
let
right.
me
Get that
hand you
in.
one of these. Basically,
I will admit, I found some interesting facts, and I thought they were cool to talk about, but I don't necessarily expect anyone to know the answers.
Oh boy.
Oh, geez. And what's the name of the book that you helped?
It's my 92 years on Sanibel.
Okay,
Francis Bailey.
right, and that's for sale at the museum.
Bailey's
Yes.
as well, I think.
And the
Has-
Baileys.
And
Yeah.
the Bailey's General Store, you can buy that. I have a copy out I have the library out front.
It's really Francis's voice. What I like about it is you feel like you're conversing with him.
Yeah.
And that's what we intended, really. We didn't mean for me to go out and talk to a bunch of people about Francis and write a biography.
Right.
It's really his
so
memoir.
his just memories of.
Yeah.
I like the last page. Do you know what last page is?
How to say Sanibel.
Yes. And what does he say?
Sanibel.
Sanibel.
And Richard Johnson still does it to this
Yes,
day.
he does. Yes, he
so
does.
the guy that runs Bailey's General
So
Store
yeah,
now.
Richard is married
The
to
son-in-law,
Francis's daughter, Mead. And so
He's trying to keep the tradition alive, but he's
According
getting
to
pushed back from the kids.
right.
His own
According
kids
to
don't bother with it.
Francis, it should be Sanibel.
Sanibel.
So there we go.
There we go. All right. Okay, Max, what you got for us?
All right, first question. The oldest building in the village is the Sanibel Schoolhouse for White Children. In what year was it built?
Okay, I think you said that, didn't you, Emily?
Don't let them see it, Emily. They got to write their answers down first.
Oh no, because it was actually moved then. And then
Oh, okay.
shoot! Did I just tell Laurie?
I'm changing. Jeez.
Oh,
You gave it away, Dad.
yeah, I did.
I don't know, though.
But I think I'm not. Okay, all right, I'm sticking with it.
All right, what do you have?
1894.
I put 1896.
Emily?
1896.
1896. She's got it. All right.
You're good. You're good.
All right.
She would have had 1906.
I put 1903, first of all.
He threw you off because he said that when it
Yeah.
was moved. I need an eraser.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's one on the end, too.
On the tip.
The tip is an eraser.
The tip.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Here we go with a question that I don't expect anyone to know, but maybe we will. So the Morning Glory's cottage was originally a Sears and Roebuck prefabrication. What was the cost when ordered by Martin Mayer in 1925?
Ooh, Emily's going straight in with the answer.
I don't know if I'm. I don't
To
know.
the nearest dollar.
What year, Max?
1925.
I think I might be close, but I might not be. Might not have it totally.
Mine's a complete like.
So we go for the closest to the number.
Yep, closest to the dollar.
Okay.
Ready?
Go
Yep.
for it.
What did you put?
$2,111, says Emily.
I said $1,062.43.
Nice.
I said 39995.
The answer was $2,211. Off by 100, but still taking the point.
Yes.
Is Emily.
Okay, good stuff.
Good.
All right.
job.
All right.
How much? 2,211.
Yeah, not bad.
Not gonna forget that now.
$2,211. Yep.
I know. Can you imagine? Wow.
All right. Final question. We're predating the historical village. The first modern settlement on Sanibel was made in 1832 by the FPLC. What does FPLC stand for? It's the first modern attempt at settling Sanibel, and I don't think it lasted very long.
FPLC?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What does the P stand for?
I might need to throw a timer up.
No.
I got it.
Oh gosh,
I need you to take a guess just so we can laugh at you if it's really wrong.
Stop, you're looking. Stop looking. Stop looking.
Okay, go on, Nick.
No, I want you to say.
Mom goes first.
I put Florida. I didn't know what the P was. Land company up, and then I ended up with Power.
Florida Power Land Company. Okay, Dad?
I put Florida Power and Light Company.
Okay.
Emily.
Florida Public Land Company. All great answers, all incorrect. It is the Florida Peninsular Land Company.
Oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
That was a hard one.
But we had 3 of the 4.
Yeah, so you
Florida
can
Land
all
Company.
take 3/4 of a point. Emily still wins.
Yes.
Emily still takes the lead.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all I got for you
get to ring
today.
the bell, Emily.
Okay, good job, Emily. Good job. Excellent. Anything else you want to finish with, Emily? Anything else anybody needs to know? Anything we've forgotten about the village? Doesn't have to be an answer, just making sure. All the links and descriptions are going to be in the description below, the links to the contact information. Yeah. Check them out on social media. Definitely go there. It's a great place to go and hang out.
Everybody thinks of coming to Sanibel to go to the beach, but there's so much more than the beach.
Once you get sunburnt, go down there. And there's plenty of other things around there.
I mean, there's so much more than the beach.
Yeah, it's
here.
a great thing to do. It's really serene. You get a really good feeling from it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
I think so too. And everybody that I've come in contact with when I'm working in the gift shop says the exact same thing.
Nice.
It's
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome. Thank you.
You'll see
Sharon.
us there very shortly, especially Laurie, because she'll be volunteering there on Friday.
I will be there.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Look in the links in the description below, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, and a quick shout out to our supporters. Without our supporters, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Bailey's General Store, Doc Ford's Rum Bar and Grill, Spoondrift Island Bowls, 3 Crafty Ladies, GatorBites Tailor Nail, Priscilla's of Sanibel, Coco y Cabana, Suncatchers Dream, and Sanibel Carts. And don't forget to reach out to Captain for Clean Water, one of our favourite island charities. Thanks